updates every 30 minutes and breaking news as it happens. News Talk KVNU, your number one radio station for news and talk.
KVNU News Time is 5:05. I'm Bill Walter with this news update brought to you by U&I Furniture. A 39-year-old man has been arrested and charged with beating a 3-year-old girl on Wednesday. Caleb Marble was booked into the Cache County Jail last Thursday night. Marble was arraigned in First District Court Friday morning, appearing by web conference. He was charged with 2 counts of child abuse, a second-degree felony, and 2 misdemeanors for drug possession. Cache County Deputy Attorney Andrew Crane said Logan City police officers arrested Marble after he allegedly was witnessed yelling, slapping, and hitting the little girl in the stomach. The abuse was caught on video. Marble was seen shaking his head as the charges were read against him. He told the court he did not hit the girl in the stomach and claimed that he was dealing with a lot of stress from being evicted and other personal problems. Crane asked the court to hold Marble in jail, claiming he posed a substantial danger to the alleged victim. Public Defender Joseph Saxton said his client should be granted bail. He noted that Marble did not have a criminal history. Judge Spencer Walsh set bail at $10,000 bond. He told Marble if he was able to post bail, he is prohibited from having any contact with the alleged victim or other minors. The judge also ordered the suspect to be placed on pretrial supervision, wear an ankle monitor, and appear again in court September 27th. Marble said he was unsure whether or not he had the money to post bail. He could face up to 15 years in prison. KVNU News Time is 5:06. KVNU weather for tonight, mostly clear, patchy smoke, overnight low in the mid-40s, and then much cooler tomorrow, partly cloudy skies and patchy smoke in the morning, mid-60s. And then downright cold Tuesday night, Wednesday morning with widespread frost, upper 20s for the overnight low. And then partly cloudy to mostly sunny Wednesday, around 60 is all for the high. It's been to 83. It's 83 right now at KVNU. KVNU weather brought to you by CBD7. They have the only retail formula proven effective by the National Institutes of Health. Order CBD7 online or look for the big pink CBD7 sign at 473 South Main in Logan. Learn about CBD and try their best for free.
Want to improve the look and comfort of your home? See all the possibilities at U&I Furniture. Update your mattress and sleep better tonight on a Therapeutic Queen Comfort Top mattress for $4.99. U&I is also a full-line Maloof dealer. Add a Maloof adjustable base, 4 style choices there. In U&I's dining room section, lots of different brands with something always new to see. One popular set with a table and 4 chairs, $649. And for the family or living room, all kinds of fun new sofa loves and sectionals. If it's in stock or it's in the showroom, it's ready to take home. There's always a better buy at U&I Furniture downtown Logan.
KVNU News Time is 5:08. Biomedical company Thermo Fisher recently completed a multi-million-dollar expansion in Logan, and now their next-door neighbor, Cytiva, is also undergoing a significant expansion growth. Cytiva, a global provider of therapeutic technologies and services, will invest $231 million to expand its facility at 925 West, 1800 South. The project is expected to create almost 400 jobs in Cache County over the next 10 years. Justin Meehan, plant manager at Cytiva, in a statement said their work in Logan enables the development and manufacture of many novel therapeutics. As global demand for their products and services continues, expanding operations in Logan will help them deliver for their customers and patients. The state is helping with the expansion with more than $4 million in tax credit incentives. The Go Utah Board has approved a post-performance rural economic development tax increment finance credit not to exceed $4.8 million. Each year, Cytiva meets the criteria in its contract with the state. And Utah lawmakers are considering a crackdown on catalytic converter theft, in which criminals saw the emission control devices from cars and sell the precious metals found inside to a booming worldwide black market. The Standard Examiner reports that Republican Utah Representative Ryan Wilcox is sponsoring a bill to create a statewide database of catalytic converter sales. The Utah Attorney General's office investigators say thieves may try to sell stolen converters to recyclers and sometimes are successful because tracking and enforcement is lacking. KVNU News Time is 5:10. For more details on these and other stories, visit CashValleyDaily.com.
Western Extermination is your simple solution for lawn care and pest control. Your yard is meant to be enjoyed without bugs like ants and wasps, mosquitoes and spiders, plus rodents that chew up your lawn and garden. Western Extermination offers fertilization to keep your lawn green and healthy and to keep weeds away. Rodents, dairy flies, and mosquitoes cause a problem when trying to enjoy the outdoors. You can count on Western Extermination to exterminate the problem. Ask about military and advance pay discounts, residential and commercial properties, curb-to-curb services. Western Extermination has you covered. 512-0014. That's 512-0014 for Western Extermination.
News Talk KVNU will bring you the complete coverage of General Conference for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. The conference sessions will air Saturday from 10 till 12, 2 till 4, and 6 till 8. Also Sunday from 10 till 12 and 2 till 4. Listen live at 102 FM, 610 AM, and online at kvnutalk.com. Also on the KVNU mobile app. General Conference is provided as a public service of News Talk KVNU, the voice of Northern Utah.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to KVNU's For the People, hour 2 of today's show. It is Monday, September 27th. I mentioned it in hour 1. You'll hear from the Cache Valley resident, a woman who sort of got the ball rolling on all this on a lark, sent an Instagram message to Alex Boyer and got a direct response from Boyer himself. We talked to her. You'll hear from her tomorrow on the show. Local business owner. She was pretty excited about this. But the event is coming up this Thursday at 6 p.m. at the Cache County Fairgrounds. Concert with Alex Boyer. And they're going to have food trucks, games as I understand it. And the goal, of course, is a good conversation, healthy conversation on the final day of what is National Suicide Awareness Month, September each year in the United States. In hour 1, we played you some clips from USU's suicide prevention videos. They published 9 new videos from the Family Life Department there today on the USU Extension YouTube channel. Amazing stuff, and their research is very helpful, whether you're a parent, educator, or a teen, even on talking about what can be a difficult topic. Joining us right now in the studio, we have with us our good friend, Cache County Executive David Zook. We'll be talking about many things, but to start things off here, this Ignite the Light event, the county, as Margaret told us when we spoke with her, she said, the county wasted no time jumping on board, and you guys, of course, worked closely with the coalition as well, the Prevention Coalition here in the county, which is such a unique thing that doesn't exist in every county, where all these nonprofits, businesses, experts from the university, from the county, even the county attorney's office at times has had members represented there. This Prevention Coalition really serves as a central point for all of this work, right?
Yeah, it's a great group. I've had the pleasure of working with them a little bit, and we have some incredible people. I never cease to be impressed by the good people here in Cache County. I always refer to it as the Cache Valley way. We have good people who step up and do good things. When there's something that needs to be done, people just get it done. And that's what happened in this case. You were mentioning Margaret. Margaret works for me. She's one of our county employees. We have an incredible team there at the county, great people, and she's an example of the kind of people we have. She she felt this need, she saw this need, and we had done some things in the community throughout the year, but she saw something that was happening in some other communities and said, we could do that here. We should do that here. Let's do it here. And she just jumped on it. And,
that's so cool. I love the stories like that.
Yeah, she just reached out and asked Alex, hey, would you be willing to do this? And he said yes. And then her next call was to me and said, can we do this? And I said, absolutely, let's totally do it. Especially this month, as you mentioned, is Suicide Awareness Month, and we have a problem here too. Sure. I think I told this story earlier in the year, one of my earlier interviews on your show. I got elected in January. I wasn't in office for even 2 months, and one of our staff members came to me who is in our victim services unit, Terrell Warner. You might know her. She runs our victim services.
She's a troublemaker.
Yeah.
No, she's great. She's amazing.
She's an amazing person. And she came to me and she says, David, you need to know about something. You're the elected executive here. You're a leader in our community. You need to know about a major problem happening in our community. I said, what? What's going on? And she said, we have a suicide epidemic happening in our community. And I said, well, tell me more. What's going on? And she said, she told me how many suicides we'd had last year, and we were only a couple months into the year at this point. And she said, we're almost up to how many we had last year. That her office had been responding to. And so it got my attention. The very next day, we had a task force. I brought together a task force to talk about this, to figure out what we needed to do. And at that task force, I found out about our coalition. We have a coalition, a suicide prevention coalition here, and they've been doing great work. Unfortunately, that work is necessary. We do have a big problem in Utah, in Cache Valley. Utah has one of the highest rates of suicide in the nation, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's about 50% higher than the national average here in
Utah. It's not a little bit higher. It's
50% higher. Yeah. That's a lot. And it comes out to about 2 people per day, 2 Utahns per day that we lose to suicide. It's one of our leading causes of death here in Utah, and it's especially difficult with men. Men are more than 3 times more likely to die from suicide than women are. It's difficult for men, and it's the number one cause of death for teens and young adults. It's the number one cause of death for adults up to 44 years of age. So those are people who are normally otherwise healthy. They're pretty healthy. So that makes it so that this is a major problem. So the fact that we're doing this is an indication that we figured out a couple of things that work that can help people with this. And one of them is education, and another one is access to resources.
Sure.
And
we have a lot of, actually.
We do have a lot of resources, but not enough. That's the problem.
And oftentimes people don't know about them.
When I started this task force earlier in the year to look at this issue, I reached out to Utah State University because some of the suicides had been students there, and I was contacted by them. They reached out back to me, and they actually shared some really good information with me, and they told me how many students they had helped who were having challenges with depression, anxiety, suicidal ideation, things like that. It was a lot of students. It was a big number, and
wow.
I was kind of blown away by how many. But then the other thing they said none of those students have committed suicide. None of them have, because all of them had been connected to the resources. They'd all been connected to help, and they really felt like that was a key. Was these kids got connected to help. They got help. They received resources. They knew people cared about them.
Makes sense.
And they were okay. And they told me these ones that were not okay, that unfortunately had committed suicide, they had not been connected to their system. They hadn't been connected to their resources. And that just told me, again, we need to make sure people know there is help out there. There are resources available, and it helps to reach out to the resources and connect to them.
And it's, again, I'm always surprised when we have discussions about this on the show, the resources that exist that people don't know about. But what's often striking to me, Terrell Warner taught me this here on the show years ago. The prevention is simple. I mean, it's not. It's not an issue of any kind of specific clinical expertise or intense training. Prevention oftentimes comes down to being able to talk, whether you as an individual, are able to talk to someone else, or whether you as someone who can help a friend, a family member, a teacher, a parent, are there to listen to someone talk. That seems to be the real turning point on whether, as you mentioned, in the case with these teens that had, talked about suicidal ideation and things like that, but didn't follow through on it. The talking was the difference.
Yeah, and I'm not a mental health expert. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a therapist or a psychologist. But I've talked to a lot of them about this issue, and that is absolutely an important thing. Connection. Having a connection, being able to connect with people is critical. And I think it really ties into something that we should be doing anyways. We should be connecting with our neighbors. We should be serving our neighbors. We've moved into this society in the last decade or more of being inside more, being on screens more, being disconnected, feeling like maybe we're connected more because we have X number of friends on social media, but really what's the depth of those connections and what's the quality of those connections? We need to get out more. We need to serve our neighbors more. We need to love our neighbors more. We need to get involved in our community, because not only will that help those people we're serving, but it helps us too when we get out and we serve. And speaking of getting out, we need to live healthy lives too. This is a part of wellness.
Sure.
If we focus on our overall health and wellness, it'll benefit our mental health as well. I'll tell you one stat I learned last week. We had the opportunity to host a great event here in Cache Valley, the Utah Outdoor Recreation Summit. So a statewide summit. We had experts in outdoor recreation from all over the state came here. They were at Utah State Universities where we held it, and we had all these people talking about fun things, because that's one good thing that's come out of COVID is more people have gotten outside.
Sure.
Our national
there was
parks,
nothing
our
else
state
to
parks,
do for a year.
Social distance, go out on a trail,
Everything
go out
was
to the mountains.
canceled.
Yeah, so it's exploded. The outdoor recreation activities in our state have just exploded. They're off the charts. How many people are going out there and doing things, which is great, because this at the conference I had an opportunity to share some remarks, and then I got to introduce the speaker after me, who was our Speaker of the House, Brad Wilson. And
he's a funny guy.
He talked a little bit about outdoor recreation, but he shared a really interesting stat, and I thought it was actually really sad to hear this. He said inmates in Utah prisons get more sunshine, spend more time outside than kids in Utah do. And I thought,
that's mind-blowing.
That is mind-blowing. That people in prison, you think, okay, you're never going to see the light of day again, right? Isn't that a line that we tell them?
Yeah.
No, they're actually going to get more time outside recreating than our kids are getting. Again, I'm not an expert on this, but I've got to think that there's some kind of connection between our mental health and the amount of time we're spending outside. We need to get outside more. We need to get some sunshine. We need to exercise. We need to enjoy beautiful nature, see the birds, see the trees, see the flowers, all of that stuff. It makes you feel better. It
does. I learned this from a dog trainer, actually. I have a dog that requires. He's a very good dog if he gets enough exercise. We'll put it that way. If he doesn't, he can be quite a handful. And so I started this habit of taking a walk on a nearby sort of nature trail. And I would try to do this between 7 and 8 a.m. every morning. And I noticed after a while my attitude improving after 2020. 2020 was, I'd gotten a little cynical. But I started to notice my attitude improving. I started to notice my productivity at work throughout the day going up. I started to notice my reaction to unexpected bad things that can happen, any given day. It was a lot better. And I remembered these conversations about just taking a walk in some trees or circling a park a few times, and the effect it can have on you, the sunshine, the fresh air. Well, I mean, it's somewhat fresh out there right now, but it's again, back to this idea that you see these tragic statistics about suicide, whether it's adult men, adult women, teens, and you just think about how the possibility, at least, that a conversation could have prevented that.
You see a lot of different campaigns. There are a lot of groups working on this problem, and
Sure.
different ones have different campaigns and different approaches to it. And there's one that you'll see out there on the billboards, on the buses. It says, "This is suicide prevention," and it shows some people connecting. It shows people involved in some kind of an activity together. It shows somebody putting an arm around someone's shoulder. It shows human connection, spending time together, doing activities together, and that is suicide prevention.
That's amazing to think about, and we could all play a part in that. That's what this event is about. It's this Thursday, 6 o'clock at the Cache County Fairgrounds. Ignite the Light. Free concert with Alex Boyer. They'll have food trucks, games, good conversation, and more. And a really cool story, again, about how this all came to be and the work of the Cache County Suicide Prevention Coalition. I've linked to their Facebook page, by the way, on our own, as well as the event page shared by Mr. Zook on our own Facebook page if you'd like to find it there later. But join us if you have a question or a comment. 753-5868. We'll be back right after this.
NMLS 1817019.
Lendrite Mortgage declares freedom from high rates and closing costs with the introduction of our Freedom Loan. What is a Freedom Loan? 1, you pay 0 closing costs. 2, you get a rate that's the same or lower than the rate other lenders charge you thousands in points and fees to get. The choice is clear. Pay thousands more than you should with another lender, or get the same or lower rate and have the Freedom Loan cover 100% of your closing costs. Act now. Freedom Loan APRs are as low as 1.92% for 8 to 15-year terms and 2.67% for 16 to 30-year terms. Call 801-APPROVE or visit lendritemortgage.com. Get a Freedom Loan and say no to high rates and closing costs. Call 801-APPROVE or visit lendritemortgage.com.
I'm Larry Gelwicks, the getaway guru with Columbus Travel and Funjet Vacations. Run away to the sunny beaches of Cancun, all-inclusive. White sand beaches, blue ocean waters, gourmet dining, and non-stop fun, including your air, hotel, meals, drinks, even your tips and gratuities, all for just one low price. For the best travel deals on the planet, including all-inclusive Cancun, call Columbus Travel, 800-373-3328, or online at columbusvacations.com. Thanks, Columbus.
News Talk KVNU will bring you the complete coverage of General Conference for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. The conference sessions will air Saturday from 10 till 12, 2 till 4, and 6 till 8. Also Sunday from 10 till 12 and 2 till 4. Listen live at 102 FM, 610 AM, and online at kvnutalk.com. Also on the KVNU mobile app. General Conference is provided as a public service of News Talk KVNU, the voice of Northern Utah.
I'm Larry Gelwicks, the getaway guru. Join me on the travel show every Saturday at 11 a.m. and I'll tell you where to go and how to get there with the best travel deals on the planet, including how to travel more and pay less, free this and free that promotions, and insider secrets on what the airlines, cruise lines, and hotels don't want you to know, along with your call-in travel questions every Saturday, 11 a.m. right here on News Talk 610 KVNU.
Hi, I'm Dr. Anita Chandra with today's tip for kids from the American Academy of Pediatrics. Helmets are important for every bike ride, no matter how short. Did you know helmets are also important to wear when skateboarding, inline skating, or riding a scooter? A helmet can protect against a skull fracture or other facial injuries. Look for a helmet that fits correctly and that's certified for safety. Make sure you and your child wear a helmet every time. For more, visit healthychildren.org or talk with your pediatrician.
I wish you would step back from that ledge, my friend. You could cut ties with all the lies that you've been living in. And if you do not want to see me again, I would understand. I would understand.
Welcome back to KVN News for the People. Joined in studio by Cache County Executive David Zook. We're talking about an event happening this week, the final day of National Suicide Awareness Month, September. Final day of that month here in Cache Valley at the Fair Park at 6 p.m., a free concert with Alex Boyer, food trucks, good conversation, and more, all hoping to raise awareness and maybe even generate some donations. It's a free event, but donations are encouraged for the Cache County Suicide Prevention Coalition. And Mr. Zook is here talking to us about that event. We talked about the very cool story on how this came about. This resident of Cache Valley, this woman sends a message to Alex Boyer, not expecting a response because he's a celebrity. She follows him on Instagram, and he replies. And then the ball is rolling on this. But it's taken a lot of effort, multiple parts to get it to happen, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a big effort, and it's been kind of a quick whirlwind, I would say, because it was just a little over a week ago when this idea was hatched, and that's really a good time, I think, for me to thank the committee. We have a committee of some volunteers who just stepped up and been helping. Some of them are county employees, some of them are community members. And everybody just came together and started helping to get this done. And something like this isn't free. It costs money to put on a big concert like this. And so we initially came up with a budget, and we said, how much is going to cost? What do we have to pay for? Light and sound and stage and all of the things that go into this. And then we started talking about it, and almost every donation we've received so far has been unsolicited. We have had so many people reach out to us and say, how can I help? I want to help. I want to contribute. We've had, we still haven't raised all the money we need, so we do have a Venmo that we can share, and we are accepting donations still. The donations are going through the Cache County Community Foundation. So Cache County has a nonprofit 501c3 called the Cache County Community Foundation, and that's where we're accepting the donations through that group. And we have a Venmo for that Cache County Community Foundation. The Venmo is CC Community FDN. If somebody wants to just search for that, CC Community FDN, that's Cache County Community Foundation. But we had several of our local businesses and residents step up, like Adams Wealth Advisors, Cache Valley Bank, Cache Valley Electric, Osner's, Lee's Marketplace, Maloof, Rocky Mountain Power, Thermo Fisher, Wilson Motors, McDonald's, Schreiber, Ivory Homes, and a bunch more. We've had so many people they heard about it and they said, you know what, I'm going to help.
They want to help. That's amazing.
And this is something that we've heard from a lot of them. Some of them are saying, this is a good cause, I want to help. But too many of them are saying, this has affected us. And they want to get involved because they know how big of an issue this is, because it has affected them personally or in their business. And I think that's just an indication of how big of a problem this is. Almost everyone we're talking to has a story, knows somebody, knows of the pain that is left behind when somebody commits suicide.
Sure. This is, I remember a story about teen suicide specifically, and the effect that can have on the entire community of a school district. And that, I think that's the greatest example of what a big deal this is, and why we need to get better about talking about it. It is hard to talk about.
There are unfortunately some lies that get planted in the heads of people who are considering this type of thing, and one of those lies is that they don't matter and that people don't care. But that's not true at all.
And
people
social
do
media
care.
can really reinforce that.
Yeah.
It's one of the ironies of social media. You're connected. You might have hundreds of friends on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook, but it can actually end up reinforcing this idea that you're meaningless.
Yeah, and that's one of the messages we're going to share at the concert. So on Thursday night, 6 o'clock, we're going to start off the show. We actually, I think it's going to be a cool event. Even if it weren't about this good cause, it'd be worth coming to anyways. We're going to have 4 local bands doing opening acts. They're going to do a couple songs each. So we're going to have some really cool local bands doing opening acts, 4 different ones. Cool. And then of course Alex Boyer. If you don't know who Alex Boyer is, then maybe you're not from Utah. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's a big name out here.
A simple search on YouTube, you're going to find some videos.
Yeah,
but
he is an
amazing
entertainer. He is such a great entertainer. I'm so looking forward to it because it's going to be great entertainment. But it's not just about entertainment. It's about education, too.
Sure.
We want to connect people to resources. And we thought if we're going to bring people together for this, it's not just about the feel-good aspect of it, but it's also about education and connecting to resources. So in between songs, in between acts, we're going to have information. We'll have some speakers. We'll have some stories that'll be told. We'll have some resources that'll be shared. And this will be an educational event.
This is great. And to see all this come about so organically, people, like you said, wanting to do good, people who've been touched by this in some way wanting to be a part of it. And for listeners, again, it starts at 6 p.m. on Thursday, September 30th. This Thursday, Ignite the Light, a free concert with Alex Boyer, local bands, food trucks, games for the kids, I understand it. I mean, this is a big event that has come together very quickly, and what will be the final day of National Suicide Awareness Month, September, happening right here in Cache Valley, 6 p.m. at the Cache County Fairgrounds with Alex Boyer, the headliner for that event. But there's a lot you can do if you can't make it to the concert. If you, I think one of the most important things everyone could do is talk about this with your friends and family, regardless of your age, profession, all of that. And again, check out some of the resources. We mentioned several of them here on the show, and I've posted a lot to our Facebook page earlier today. Some videos sent courtesy of USU Extension, in fact. We'll continue our conversation here with Cache County Executive David Zook right after these headlines with KVNU's Bill Walter.
Thank you, Jason. KVNU News Time is 5:37. The news is brought to you by Cache Valley Pharmacy. A 34-year-old Richmond man has pleaded guilty to stealing thousands of dollars worth of hemp from a Smithfield storage shed. Jeremy Bredding accepted a plea deal that will allow him to be released from jail until sentencing. Bredding participated in a virtual hearing in First District Court this morning. He pleaded guilty to 1 count of theft, a second-degree felony, and 2 counts of possession of a controlled substance, both Class A misdemeanors. Last November, deputies received a report of a theft at a storage shed near 405 West, 4600 North in Smithfield. 8 large blue 55-gallon drums were taken containing about $40,000 worth of hemp product. A 15-foot flatbed trailer was also taken. Surveillance video from the storage center showed at least 2 individuals driving a dark-colored Jeep Grand Cherokee. Investigators identified one of the men as Jeremy Bredding. On December 31st, Jeremy was pulled over during a traffic stop near Wellsville. He was a passenger in the Jeep seen in the surveillance video. Deputies found a small baggie containing a brown-white powder inside the vehicle, along with a glass pipe. The items later tested positive for meth. During the course of the investigation, deputies learned that the Jeep was also seen during a burglary of a storage unit in Idaho. Some of the stolen items were allegedly being kept at a home in Richmond belonging to 40-year-old Wayne Bredding. Deputies report video footage showed Jeremy and another person, later identified as 33-year-old Matt Lidler, unloading the suspected stolen items from the Jeep and carrying them onto the Richmond property. During today's hearing, Public Defender Ryan Holdaway said as part of that agreement, prosecutors dropped 4 remaining charges against Bredding. They also agreed to allow the defendant to be released from jail so he could receive drug treatment and work through the outstanding case in Idaho. Judge Maynard expressed hesitancy releasing Bretting, but said he would go along with the attorney's recommendations. He ordered the defendant to return to court November 8th for sentencing. According to court records, Wayne Bretting also previously accepted a plea deal and was sentenced to serve 120 days in jail. Littler's case is continuing through the court system. He's scheduled to appear again in court on October 4th. Mourners are paying their respects to Gabby Petito, whose death on a cross-country trip has sparked a manhunt for her boyfriend. The 22-year-old Petito's family held a funeral home viewing Sunday in Holbrook, about 35 miles east of New York City. Family members, friends, co-workers, and people who did not know her but were touched by Petito's story attended the viewing. Petito was reported missing on September 11th by her parents while she and Brian Laundrie were visiting parks in the West. Her body was discovered last Sunday in a remote area in northwestern Wyoming. Laundrie and Petito grew up on Long Island, but in recent years moved to Florida. And cadaver dogs have found what are probably 7 graves of migrants from the mid-1880s. Who died in south-central Idaho on the California Trail while crossing what is now the City of Rocks National Reserve. Experts with the Oregon-California Historic Trails and City of Rocks National Reserve identified 2 possible graves. The Post-Register reports that the cadaver dogs earlier this month confirmed the 2 sites as containing human remains and then found 5 more possible burial sites. Experts say about 200,000 immigrants passed through the National Reserve, most headed to California on the California Trail that split off from the Oregon Trail in the area. KBNU News Time is 5:41.
This is Phil with Cache Valley Pharmacy. We love being in Cache Valley and want to thank you for your support. Cache Valley Pharmacy features the best prices in the valley, and as always, free delivery. If you're in the market for prescriptions, check first with Cache Valley Pharmacy for the absolute best prices, especially on compounds and insulin. We've been doing pharmacy better than anyone else in the valley with free delivery valley-wide for the last 19 years. Cache Valley Pharmacy, the pharmacy delivery experts. Order your prescriptions online at cachevalleypharmacy.com.
KBNU weather for tonight, mostly clear, patchy smoke in the forecast, low in the mid-40s, and then partly cloudy, much cooler on Tuesday with patchy smoke in the morning tomorrow, mid-60s for the high. And then partly cloudy, colder, upper 20s Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. Widespread frost during the morning on Wednesday. Partly cloudy to mostly sunny, only around 60 on Wednesday afternoon for the high. It's been to 84. It's 83 right now at KBNU. KBNU weather brought to you by Wheatland Seed. They offer real food for storage like wheat, rice, beans, and sugar, all carefully packed in stackable buckets with resealable Mylar liners, providing up to 25-year shelf life. Visit wheatlandseed.com. That's wheatlandseed.com. And for more details on these and other stories, visit CacheValleyDaily.com.
Hey, it's Al Lewis. We all know buttons make our lives easier. But if you have sleep apnea and can't use CPAP, did you know there's a button that can help you go from this to this? It's called Inspire. It's a small device that works inside your body with just the click of a remote. That's right, a button. If you struggle with CPAP, great sleep awaits at InspireSleep.com. Inspire. Sleep apnea innovation. No mask, no hose, just sleep. Inspire is not for everyone. Talk to your doctor to see if it's right for you. And review important safety information at InspireSleep.com.
Do the news headlines or those strangely vacant grocery store shelves give you that quiet sense that it's time to prepare? But some emergency food storage can be so costly, and you wonder, will my family actually eat this? Or will it still taste fresh when we need it? At Wheatland Seed, we provide families real food, properly packaged, so you can use it every day or store it for up to 25 years. Foods that are affordable, nutritious, and taste great, like wheat, rice, oats, sugar, and beans. Come check out the great sale going on now, like premium baking wheat, 25 pounds for just $19. Order online for local pickup or for home delivery at wheatlandseed.com. That's wheatlandseed.com.
Welcome back to KVNU's For the People. Speaking with Cache County Executive David Zook here in the studio, talking about this event coming up this Thursday evening, 6 p.m. at the Cache County Fairgrounds. A free concert with Alex Boyer, opening acts from local bands, food trucks, and more. All of this to mark the final day of Suicide Awareness Month here in the United States. And part of this event, as Mr. Zook has mentioned, will also be educational, connecting people and informing people about resources, tips and tricks on having healthy conversations about suicide, something that is key to prevention. And all of this being planned in just a short 2-3 week period. Again, we spoke with Margaret, who kind of had this idea, reached out to Alex Boyer on Instagram, and to her surprise, as she told us, got a response. Then suddenly the ball's rolling. The county's involved. The Suicide Prevention Coalition is involved. They are hoping that you'll pitch in a little bit, if you can afford to, a donation to the Cache County Community Foundation and more at this event. But Mr. Zook, you mentioned earlier that there was a Venmo available, but during the break we got some additional information on how people can help.
I just got a text message while we were online on the air here from Margaret, and she said doTERRA just offered that they will match any donations that come in the next 48 hours. So we can double any donations that come in the next 48 hours.
That's great.
People can donate through the doTERRAhealinghands.org website.
Okay.
I just put a link on my Facebook page if you want to share that.
Perfect.
David Zook is my Facebook page, but if you want to share it on yours too.
I'll just reshare yours.
Yeah,
Less typing
just
for
share
me.
that. Yeah.
That is great.
Yeah,
doTERRA
doTERRA Healing Hands just offered to match all the donations that come in the next 24 hours.
Oh, that's amazing. That's
thank you, doTERRA. And while I'm thanking people, I thanked several sponsors earlier. We also have a number of in-kind sponsors as well.
Oh, wow.
Including Cache Valley Radio Group. You guys stepped up. You're helping us get the word out, not just with this show, but you guys have ads that you're going to be running on your radio stations. And I want to thank you guys. You guys are always connected to the community. If there's something going on, you guys are there. You know about it. You're sharing with all of your listeners about it. That's one thing I love about you guys is about the radio is if I want to know what's going on, I turn on the radio.
Well, that's it's what I recommend for everyone, especially when there's something happening. And this
local.
This story, though, honestly, this is what I live for. This is our community. When you have just members of the community coming together with an idea, and suddenly it becomes this huge event that's going to attract. I mean, I know people are planning to come from out of the valley, big Alex Boyer fans, and all of this just because the people are so great, and so we can't stay away from a story like this. This is right in our wheelhouse. It's just amazing.
Yeah, it's a great event. There's so many good people stepping up and helping with it, and I want to tell you about a couple of the other components about the event. We've talked about, of course, the music and some of the educational information that'll be shared, but we're also going to have probably 24 exhibitor booths with resources, not people selling stuff, but people providing resources and information.
Oh, that's amazing.
So local nonprofits, agencies, people who are there to help. So I would encourage everybody, get there early, stop by the booths during the event, after the event, come by the booths and learn. And maybe you won't need the information, but most likely you're going to know somebody who's going to need this information. So educate yourself. Find out how you can help others through this.
That's amazing.
And speaking of helping others, there's a group of people who are involved every time something like this happens, and that's our first responders.
Yeah.
So when something like this happens, unfortunately, that's not the end. That's just the beginning of so much that has to happen at that point. And
what these people experience is I've tried to imagine it, and I can't.
I can't even hear about it. I was an EMT for about a decade. I've seen some gruesome stuff over the years, but there's a difference between somebody getting in a car accident and something like this happening. And I don't know how it is that they are able to keep going and keep doing this when they are having to deal with these. And I'm talking about our emergency medical responders, our EMTs and our paramedics, our firefighters, our police officers, our sheriff deputies. These are the people who are on the front lines who are seeing this and having to deal with the aftermath. Our victim services advocates.
Sure.
So we're doing a special event for them the night before. With Alex Boyer. He's going to be there. So we're going to have a special kind of private event, but it's open to first responders. So if first responders want to come to this, we're doing an event. We're going to talk a little bit about some healing and some things that will hopefully be helpful to them. And we're going to have Alex there, and we're going to have some goodies there, and we're going to express our gratitude to them for helping with this epidemic.
That is very nice. So that's the Wednesday evening before
the concert.
Before,
yes.
So if you're a first responder, reach out. I assume commanders.
All of the agencies know about it.
Know,
so
okay.
if there are first responders who haven't heard about this, they can talk to their boss. The information's been distributed to all of the agencies in the valley.
That is so cool.
If somebody at their agency doesn't know about it, they can call me at the county, and I'll get them connected. We'd love to have them there, but we want to express our gratitude. We want to help them with the healing process, and we want them to have some fun too, and meet Alex, and I'm sure that will be a great experience for them with Alex that evening.
Now, Alex Boyer has made this. This is a big part of his career, right? Suicide awareness, suicide prevention, healthy conversations about suicide, and he talks about that in a couple of YouTube videos of his own, how he's been personally affected by suicide. And he uses a hashtag. For those who use social media, the event Thursday night, Alex Boyer has been doing some tweeting and posting about it already, and they're using the hashtag Bend Not Break. So if you're sharing in advance or if you're sharing photos from that night to commemorate the event at the Fair Park starting at 6 p.m. Thursday, again, a free event, concert with Alex Boyer, local bands, booths, food trucks, all of that. It's basically a festival that has been planned in 3 short weeks.
Yeah, we have 8 food vendors so far.
Amazing. That is so cool. I love seeing the community come together like this. And speaking of that, if you can, give the sponsors a second mention here, those who have stepped up.
We have so many. I mentioned some of the bigger ones before: Adams Wealth, Cache Valley Bank, Cache Valley Electric, Gosner's, Lee's, Maloof, Rocky Mountain Power, Thermo Fisher, Wilson Motor Company, McDonald's, Schreiber, Ivory Homes. Those are some of the big ones. We have some other ones who've also donated. BTEC, we've got Chules Financial, we've got Cache Valley Counseling. They're actually helping to put on all of the Chelsea. It's putting together all the vendor booths and everything. She's organizing that. She's on our committee too. Cytiva, Gunnell Family Dentistry, Lowry and Associates, Primary Care Pediatrics. We have a lot of people who have just stepped up. And,
that is amazing.
And a couple of those, I mentioned it to them because I was interacting with them in some other way. And so I kind of asked them. But most of these people they heard about it and they said, how can I help?
They want to be a part of it.
It's the Cache Valley way. People just step up and they help when help is needed.
That is so cool. Our guest again here in studio talking about Ignite the Light, a free concert with Alex Boyer happening this Thursday at 6 p.m. Local bands opening up, food trucks, the booths with information services and more, and just talking about all the sponsors in kind and otherwise that have been a part of this, and all of it being planned in just a couple of weeks after an idea was hatched and everyone just wanted to be involved to make it work. It's so cool to see this happen. And again, it's a free concert. They are asking that if you can, you make a donation to the Cache County Community Foundation to support the work of, all the resources in the county, but also the Suicide Prevention Coalition. And you can do that at the event or by doing it through doTERRA, doTERRA has agreed, as David just announced, doTERRA has agreed to match donations for the next 24 hours.
48. I believe it's 48 hours.
Oh, wow, 48 hours. That is amazing. So if you make your donation, just make a note that that's what your donation's for, by the way. That's how the site works, at doTERRAhealinghands.org. They'll match that donation. That's amazing.
I want to say something. You mentioned the hashtag Bend Not Break.
Bend Not Break.
Bend Not Break. I love the hashtag because what it refers to is resilience.
Yeah.
And resilience is our ability to deal with something hard, something difficult, something painful, but keep going forward, keep moving. And the Family Place, one of our local nonprofits here in the Valley,
I love those guys.
They are one of the national leaders in the area of resilience. They're involved in some research. They're doing some incredible things, and they've been involved. The Family Place has also put out a series of videos about suicide prevention. It's called "I Am Still Here." People should watch them. They're incredible. They are top-notch videos, really great videos. I Am Still Here. So just Google Family Place, I Am Still Here.
Very nice.
I'll share those on my Facebook page too.
Perfect.
Great videos, but they're about resilience. They're about the ability to keep going forward even when life gets tough.
That's as we were discussing. There's not a person who hasn't been touched by this in some way, either directly or indirectly, and resilience is key. And also accepting that there are going to be bad days, darker times in life, and there are ways through it. So, yeah, David, it's always fun to have you here in the studio. For listeners, we'll be back with more right after this.
Dr. Josh Red, chiropractic physician, explains how Red River Health and Wellness can help you.
If you have low thyroid and you're taking thyroid medication, the biggest question you should ask yourself is, what's causing my low thyroid specifically? If you don't know the answer to that question, it's important to call us. At Red River, we identify triggers that will cause the low thyroid to begin with. One of the most common causes of low thyroid is a disease called Hashimoto's disease. This is an autoimmune disease that is a lot more complicated than just a primary thyroid issue. This is why people will be on thyroid hormone but still feel little to no improvement, because nothing's being done to address the bigger, more complicated problem, which is Hashimoto's. If you have low thyroid or you have an autoimmune disease and you're on medication and still don't feel well, call Red River.
Schedule your appointment today at 855-55-RIVER. Red River Health and Wellness, with offices in Logan, South Jordan, Springville, and St. George.
Call Red River today.
Even though the weather's grown colder, you still have time to have your fruit trees pruned. Logan Extermination says your trees need to be trimmed back in order to achieve success next year. And this is the first step to a bountiful harvest. However, you could do more bad than good if you don't know what you're doing. Save the headache and call Logan Extermination today and get a jump on tree pruning. Prices will vary depending on your needs. Logan Extermination, 752-8450.
Hi, this is Drew Allen with Allen Mortuaries. Over the years, thousands of families have planned ahead with Allen Mortuaries. Planning ahead helps you make informed and thoughtful decisions. It also spares your family the stress of making these decisions under the pressure of time and strong emotions. Allen Mortuaries' secure pre-need trust plan can save you nearly 40% versus other plans. Keep it simple, safe, and secure. Go with the proven choice, Allen Mortuaries. Voted best funeral home in Cache Valley in northern Utah. Allen Mortuaries. Then, now, always.
Adams Wealth Advisors' entire team says, thank you, Cache Valley, for voting them the best financial planner in the Best of Northern Utah competition. Honesty and integrity is the hallmark of Adams Wealth Advisors. Let them earn your trust today.
This is Craig Adams. At Adams Wealth Advisors, we are here to help you receive peace of mind, whether you've done a lot of planning or a little planning. Count on our team at Adams Wealth Advisors for honesty, professionalism, and integrity.
Visit adamswealthadvisors.com or call 752-1702 to schedule a time with an advisor today. Please see adamswealthadvisors.com for more information on these recent awards.
That is our time for today. Thanks again for Cache County Executive David Zook's time joining us here in the studio to talk about Ignite the Light. This event is Thursday, 6 p.m. at the Cache County Fair Park, a free concert with Alex Boyer, opening bands, local bands, food trucks, booths with information and more. All of this on the final day of National Suicide Awareness Month. And it is an amazing thing that has happened very organically. Please get out and support the work they've done. And if you can, support the work of the Cache County Community Foundation, the Cache County Suicide Prevention Coalition, and anyone you can, really. Details for everything we've discussed on our Facebook page. If you'd like to make a donation, right now, the next 48 hours, doTERRA matching donations. If you just make a note in your donation at doTERRAHealingHands.org that it is for the Cache County Ignite the Light event, they will match your donation for the next 48 hours. That is just amazing. David, again, thank you for your time. Listeners,
thank you, Jason.
Oh, always a pleasure to have you in, and great work here. Shout out to all the sponsors and volunteers involved in Ignite the Light. Again, Thursday night, 6 p.m., free concert at the Cache County Fairgrounds with Alex Boyer, local bands, food trucks, booths, and more. All of that on the final day of National Suicide Awareness Month. We'll be back tomorrow and keep this topic going with some resources made available here in Cache County. We've discussed a bit here this hour. That's tomorrow on the show. Dave Ramsey is next here on KV.